Yes. No, this is a rocket powered lawnmower. We can turbocharge a lawnmower if you want, but just packing up. I thought I'd start the video like this. Because it's been 1 month, and let's get straight in the car. If this is the equivalent of a season two, it's called full send for a reason. Now the car's outside. I'm gonna bring it in. I'll let you guys know how things have gone over the last month, and let's turn it up, eh? And some improvements as well along the way. Not much has changed. I think still poor video quality, I guess. Maybe the camera's improved a bit, just a bit. Still the same shit mics. I came to throw them out, and I was too not gonna have enough time before I filmed the next video to get a pair. So let's get straight into it, eh? I'm babbling as per normal, but let's not try to drag these out as long as we did last season. Hey, I'll go get the car. I'll be back in a sec, eh? Now, what problems have I had? Oil drain. Now, the stuff that whoever the seller is on eBay they sold to me clearly wasn't good fit for the purpose, and the line hardened up very quickly and started leaking. Now, that's a sign that it wasn't genuine oil drain hose. Lucky enough, the guy that I was buying all my other bits from felt sorry for me, and this is a shop in Sydney, by the way, and he gave me some free line and some heat wrap. Now the rest of it's on the car. I'll show you how it looks. That sorted it out. I have exhaust wrapped as well. The actual downpipe that runs near the oil drain, and I have as well fitted a WRX STI blanket. Like I said, it looks like a sanitary pad in a sense that I couldn't wrap around the whole turbo, but I put it in a way to help the oil drain. So it's double protected. Hopefully it holds, but it seems pretty good. At least that stuff is actually that's professional oil line, not like the stuff that I got sold. Just a bit of a warning: if you're going to get the eBay stuff, there's not much of a difference to just go to a shop and buy half a meter or a meter. I think it's a bit of peace of mind. Now, as for the improvements we're going to make to the car, let me just show you in a sec. Okay, what is in front of me? Is it a pile of shit? Some might think that. I don't disagree. We still have that cutout valve. Are we going to use it? We'll see. You got to remember that I'm filming this at the start, and then we're just going to go along. So hopefully we do use it. We got the cheapest manual boost controllers. These are an AliExpress special, $9. The cheapest boost controller I can find. This was a clearance item. You can tell it's the previous generation of Turbo Smart. It's a single stage. So if we are going to boost it, we either use these or this. Now this was $120. That was a steal because it was a clearance item. Some shop wanted to get rid of it, you know. Cheapest ignition coil we can find, that was $38 online. This is on eBay. This needs to be changed, I think. Cheapest leads, roughly the same price. Look, they come in some generic bag. You know, the ones on there aren't bad, but you never know, they might break. What do I want to change the ignition coil? When the car got very, very hot and I loaded it up and me and the missus were driving and I did a third gear pull, I felt like it had that spark blowout, and it never happened before, but because the car was like hot and we had driving it and we had just pulled up and then turned it on again and just went for it, I do feel that they're as old as the car. So we can change them. They're pretty cheap. If you walk into a parts store, you are going to pay like 5 times that price. Each to their own. So I'm going to get straight into the parts. We do have some lowering springs as well. Yes, low Hyundai Getz, and they're red. Now, I do got these lowering springs. I'm in a dilemma if I want to fit it. I'll explain it to you a bit later. But let me just say, in Australia, it's cheaper to get these imported with the euro dollar from, I think they're from Britain. They were like $450 all up. That's with shipping, taxes, and the shipping was probably almost more expensive than the springs themselves. In Australia, we have King Springs. Now, they've discontinued, I think, the rear, and they have no intention of making them again. The last time I asked, and the ones that are floating online, they want $650 for the set, and that's even if they're still available. So it's actually cheaper to get these from overseas. Now, as for the the dilemma I have is it's just the clearances. I'll show you a bit later, but if so, these, I don't know if I call these an improvement. If they are a bit more, they do tighten up the body roll, then they are an improvement. But yeah, you know what the best part about a non-lowered Getz is? You can just put the jack right underneath it, and that's a standard jack. Yeah, you can get those lower jack, but you know, but that's one of those things I'm gonna miss if I do lower the car, because then I got to change the jack, and that's like $200-300. So yeah, it's one of those things you keep in mind. I've always done this to myself where I've lowered a car and it's just like, oh no, I forgot about that, or it hits the speed hump or that. But yeah, it's just one of those added expense I'd probably think about if I was you. But if you do like that lowered look, go for it. We're just going to flick a coin and debate it as per normal. I think that should be all right. Should be able to fit what we have to underneath there. Now, as for that oil drain, I will show you. I did exhaust wrap this. You can see there's now that fire sleeve blanket on there. And that's the WRX STI heat blanket, and it goes all the way up, like halfway up. I did not need to put that blanket, but I had ordered it from AliExpress, and because it takes so long to come in, by the time it came in, I'm like, oh, I'll just fit it. And by the time I tucked it in, it's a lot better for that oil drain. I'm going to get straight into the car. There's a few things I have to do, but I'll be quick in this video. I'm not going to explain everything because, like I said, there's a very good tutorial online on how to change the fan belts. Very good tutorial online on the ignition coil and stuff. So I'm not going to do it. Just go look for it. If you want links, ask me. They've done a very good job. So, you know, I'll let them do all the explaining, because the point of this video is about how the car runs and how we can make it even more faster. I'm still getting tongue-tied. Okay. Hyundai. The only car I know that the hubcaps are actually up. They get tightened with the nut. You basically they're like a washer for the wheel. Very interesting design, but I guess it does work. And yeah, you just got to take this off to access the fan belts. And yeah, just a bit of fun fact there. Ooh, nice. Ooh, I don't know what's running more. It doesn't add power, but it just means you don't lose power, and that includes your alternator. So the last thing we want is a danger to manifold moment. Out with the old, in with the cheap. Nice. And just like that, the belts are done. Now, like I said, there are videos online on how to do it. That was just a real pain in the ass. It's not a performance mod, but like I said, I just had to quickly get them out of the way. Now we should jump to the ignition. I'm thinking start putting back the car as it was, and sort that out, because that could be a common problem for a lot of people. Okay, that's the ignition stuff I got to quickly put on there. And like they say online, these two plugs, they do break on the actual connectors somewhere here, but now we have the intercooler piping in the way. Now, like I said, when you do your T-bolts, put them in a way that you can get to them. If you're going to do a turbo project, this is the best advice I can give you. The week before you start, do change your ignition setup if you do want to run the intercooler pipe through here, because then you don't have to get to it. It's good for another 100,000, and it might not show there's an issue with your one, but if it is old, if you are going to do a fourth gear dyno pull, I have had that in the past where it failed on an LS1 turbo, but that had multiple coils, so I just changed them all. So you might as well change it here. I do want to chuck it on the dyno. I do want to take it down on the drags. You know, fourth gear pull, whatever, 160 k's an hour, whatever it hits in fourth gear. The last thing I want is the ignition to go blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, because that's what ignitions do. Blah, blah, blah. And, yeah, so I'm going to quickly change that. I really want to get into the making this car faster bit. So. Out you go. Out with the old, in with the cheap. Okay, I'll just quickly show you everything I've done so far just to get the car up to that ready for more power stage. Okay, leads done, cheap enough. eBay slightly long, boohoo. It looks okay. New coil packs done, belts done. That's just for me. Every single video, you guys are probably like, man, that guy's car is super noisy. Now it sounds nice. We are ready to put the car down and start pushing for more power. Now, I'll tell you what I want at the. That sounds like a Spice Girls song. Anyways, um, this car runs 6 to 7 pound psi. I do want to try to get it to 10 on the factory computer because if I use the piggyback, that's the easiest way. Send it to 12 pound, whatever you want. Don't want to push too much. These are known, these 1.6, around 12 psi is pushing the upper limits, I think. Some people do push more. Longevity again. We do need to pull the timing back. And that's the adventure. You guys will come with me and see if we can actually do something to make the timing get pulled back. And then if it seems all good, chuck it on the dyno. And that's the truth meter. But until then, let me jack this car down and then we'll get straight into making the car that little bit more faster. So like right after I did the fan belts, the starter motor busted. So I had to do that. We got a new starter motor, new battery, and now we're back. I'm hanging the microphone on my hat. I don't know why I didn't think about that, because I've been having the loud volume issues. But now we got to get back straight into the budget mod bits. So what is in this J-car bag? What is this garbage you have? Now this garbage I have. Okay, enough of the accent. I'll explain to you. Now, the car's running factory timing. You get away with 7 psi. It runs very well. Maybe at 6,000 revs, there's a bit of a pull forward. I don't know if that's what you call, like, it's pulling, and then you just feel, I don't know if that's got to do with anything other than the fuel, because the air fuel is running well. Maybe that's just all Getz, just the way, I don't know, the cam profile or something, the power, but whatever. Anyways, it doesn't seem like an issue. He actually seems pretty healthy, pretty happy. 7 psi. Now, some people think, it's good to pull back timing. Generally, it's around half a degree to maybe up to 2 degrees per pound of boost, and then you start putting back timing. It runs on 98. I'm not running 91, not 810, none of that shit. Please don't. Yeah. As for what's in this bag, now, before we do an engine management, because we all know that I've got this, and like I said, I could have done it by now. These cars are cheap cars, and generally people that buy them, they want cheap mods. Now, not everyone wants to put a $400 engine management and go pay a tuner to tune it for another $1,500 when the car only costs $2,000. Yeah. So the point of the budget is, can we make the 7 psi safer, as in more like factory like, or can we actually run more boost on the factory ECU? The internet reckons no. I reckon let's give it a shot. Now, if we want to pull back timing, we got to trick the car into thinking it's hot. But what happens when the car is hot and you pull back the timing? This is either going to work, or they weren't even expensive to start with. But we'll just do it for science, and you never know. We might get away with some mad get a mods on our budget build. We have wire because that doesn't hurt. We have a fuse tab. This suits the Getz. These are the best. Don't just cut wires in your car when you want power. And most importantly, we have these. Now, these, they came from AliExpress. This is pretty much what plugs into the map sensor, the male plug, and this is the female plug. Now, if you get back to what I was saying, is the actual intake air temperature sensor on the Getz, unfortunately, is actually on the map sensor. So it's one of the 4 wires. Now, to intercept that, you need a male and a female. These male plugs are very easy to get on eBay and they come pre-wired. These female, I looked everywhere and you can only get it on AliExpress because usually this is the back of the map sensor itself. Um, we want to tap that wire and then start playing around with the voltage and see if we can get a reading on the OBD now. So I'm going to start building that and then we'll get back to the car and we'll see if we can make it work. Sorry about the babbling, but this could be pretty important if it does work. Just remember basic biology. The map sensor has the male side, and the pins that are female go to the actual plug that plugs into the map sensor. It's very easy to get these wrong, and then you can't actually pull these out. I think they go in and then they get stuck once. So yeah, just like that. Goes in there like that. Oh please. Even these they stick out. I don't know why. They're going in there. They're getting clipped. I know what I've done. Oh no. Oh no. Do you know what I've done? You know the basic biology thing I told you? I put the male on the wrong side. Oh, let's see if we can save this. Oh, I'm gonna have to buy a new one. Woosah! After half an hour of struggling, ta-da! It's done. Look at that. It's all spaghetti glory. Now that kicked my ass because I'm an idiot. So hopefully it does work. It seems okay. Just have to open it up a bit. I'm gonna now test it. Now I'll show you. The map sensor plug is behind here. Now I've disconnected it. In other words, I'm just gonna just for now go female, male, turn on the car. The car works. The plug's working. We can start cutting and intercepting. Plug does not work. You're gonna see in 10 days' time. I will be back here. But for now, we're gonna know if this input air temperature trick actually works. So yeah, let's do that. Fingers crossed. Okay. There's only one thing to do now. See if the car turns on. If so, this plug is working. Nice. Just like that, we got spaghetti bolognese. Now, just like that, we got a working loom. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start cutting one wire at a time. I think it's trial and error because I could not find this online, what the wiring was. So, as long as we don't short anything, it'll be okay. It'll be no different than leaving the sensor unplugged. Wish me luck. Let's hope we don't blow up the car. Always have to buy a new one. Now with the ignition on, I'm just gonna test what's what. If I can get some clear readings with my multimeter, we'll do that. And then yeah, hopefully it sort of leads us in the right direction. Okay. Oh yeah, and another trick you can do, I'll tell you, if you like me where you run the dash example, look at that. I can see everything. That's another app called I think OBD Fusion. The intake air temperature sensor is currently live reading. The car doesn't have to be on. Just the ignition, the reds or whatever they call it. As soon as I lose that signal, I know Bob's your uncle. Bob might be your uncle. Say hi to him for me. But yeah, we'll do that. That's one way, I guess. That's another way, I guess. So many ways. You just want to do the ways that maybe don't blow up the car. I'm pretty sure the people across the road think, "What? Who is this guy talking to on a camera?" Hello, but that's okay. Let's go for this one. Negative 40. So that means it must be when it loses voltage. This might be the other way around, actually. We'll find out soon enough that, as in, we're going to see if the resistor is actually going to let it add more temperature, or that's good. Now we know what wire it is. I can work out what pin it is, and gives us something to work off now. Introducing the all-new Hyundai Getz Shitbox Edition. Okay, thank you, Anthony A, for that. It adds a bit of character and a bit to the sleeper look. Okay, there shall be no resistance. Okay, so after asking around, thinking about it, doing some research on how to actually get the signal that the ECU wants to see a higher temperature, over here we got a bunch of resistors. We're going to do some science. And going back to my loom, I don't know if you remember me saying it's actually numbered like 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know if I can see the numbers here for you guys. But anyways, 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you remember, number 3 was the one that basically goes to the ECU. Now, this is an idea that was sort of, it's sprung up. I'll show you. Now, this is the plug. Let's pretend this is a plug. When you disconnect it from the sensor, this is the sensor part. Let's ignore that. 1, 2, 3, 4. We already know that number 3 goes to the ECU. So we'll cut the feed to the ECU. So then the ECU is it's going to say, oh, I've got nothing. I'm negative 40 or negative 41. Bridge a resistor to wire number 4. So basically just have a little window in it, because wire number 4 is the 5-volt feed. That's the 5-volt feed that pretty much powers the map sensor and the input air temperature sensor, from what I know. And then you bridge a resistor and you're pretty much doing what the air intake temperature sensor does, which is pretty much a thermistor in all the way up there in the actual the map sensor unit. I'm going to try it. Hopefully it works, because I've tried a lot of other things and I didn't approach it right. And yeah, I literally cooked one circuit doing it. Anyways, I'm going to go plug everything up. We're going to get right into the science experiment. Let's hope we don't blow the car up. Yeah, I'm getting a bit tired of this experiment. So hopefully we get a win. Now, I get asked, what problems have you had with this car? Here's another problem I'll disclose. Now, the last time I worked on this map sensor with my plug and the loom, I moved the fuel lines and they touched the fan belts. Now, it just nicked that I could smell fuel, and then I looked underneath the car. Lucky enough, I got bad ears and a good sense of smell, so I could smell shit a mile away, as they say. So it nicked the fuel line. So lucky enough, it was a quick repair patch, cut it out, those barbed straight fittings that I had, some of the AliExpress ones, and hose clamp, and just rerouted it. Problem averted. Now, yeah, the thing is, you gotta know is when you work on your car and you push things out of the way, just be mindful to put everything back on, because if not, then danger. Look at that, 99 degrees on a 220 ohm resistor. Because now I'm gonna go get the rest of the resistors and start logging them all. I want to try to see just the range and what I can get and how high I can get it up to, because if this does pull timing back, we want to know what temperature degrees we want to mimic the ECU to. Now, the highest we could get it to, obviously this is less resistance and this goes up. This is degrees Celsius. We can only get it to around 129 on 100 ohms, and then anything less, it's still topped out at 129. So if we're going to use anything, it's probably going to be around where this blue bar is. I don't know what the car does. Still got to go for a drive. Still got to plug my OBD, plug my camera, go for a drive and see what the car actually does. And there's another science behind it, is that the car can run rich as soon as it gets really hot. Now, how rich, I won't know. I'm going to have to plug in my wideband and see. But the first things first is to go for a drive, and go for a drive with normal timing, and then bridge that resistor across and see what the car does. Might do nothing. Might actually pull back 10 degrees, But we're just going to have to go for a drive, warm the car up, and if it does work, then happy days. If not, we're looking down the barrel of the ECU, which now lives in that little box down there. Okay, we're just about to go for a drive. Yes, I went to the barber and he went too far with my beard and all, but that's what happens when you don't understand each other and they don't speak English properly. I'm going to go for a wrap around the suburb now. I'm going to wait till the coolant hits proper temperature. Then we're going to do some runs and check the timing advance on stock standard air intake temperature and then with the resistor mod. We're going to see if it pulls timing. It might not, because from what I know, it doesn't more on turbo cars, and this is not a factory turbo. And plus, if a car's detuned from factory, might not work, but we're not going to know until we go for a drive. So I'm going to hit the highway where the speed limit's 100, so at least you can do a few flat stick runs. Wish me luck. Hopefully this works. We'll get there eventually. Why is there so much traffic? Why? 14. As soon as you go full accelerator in any gear, pretty much the OBD reader, pretty much that timing almost, it gets to that timing on full accelerator. So regardless of the RPM, it only changes by like maybe a degree to 2.5. So example, flat stick, push the accelerator down, timing advance 12. Give or take, goes up to maybe 13, 13 and a half. We're just logging everything and we'll see how it goes. I keep saying it. Best part about cutout valves, 1 second you're noisy, and then you're back to stock. Come on. Why is traffic light only letting like 4 people? So we have all the data we need. I'm like maybe 15, 20 minutes away from home. We'll put the all the data together and we'll see the results and we'll go from there. Okay, now that I've put the car back together, we got good news and we got bad news. Now, the good news is you guys at home are awesome. The bad news is the result was fail. That is right, it failed. Now, why did it fail? It seems like Hyundai with the tune, the air intake temperature is probably not that much of a variable for it or whatever they've done. So on max, it had the same range, and on the standard air intake temperature, so we're talking like a difference of 90 degrees Celsius here, still the same on flat stick. So I was saying around 12.5 to 14 degrees timing advance on the OBD2 reader. So what does this mean? Is the project over? Is this the last episode? No, it is not. Now it's time to fit this. I have done my best to do a budget boost up mod. £7 boost is good. We might not put on the dyno, maybe do a few runs, whatever, before we turn it up. But now we turn it up. Just because that's what I do. You know, £7 is enough. It does still chirp tires, burn tires, whatever has issues taking off fast off the mark. Useless to drive in the rain, but now we turn it up. So you'll come along with me and we'll see what we can do and try not to blow it up. Not the most expensive replacement, but the replacement costs more than getting another one. Just saying. So stay tuned for the next episode. You guys take care.